Hi everyone at hashtag CDC Whistleblower and hashtag B1Live. Tim, can you say hi real fast?
Hello, everybody. Have a great day.
So Tim's muted right now because it's just way too noisy in the background for him. But bottom line is this is going to be TAD Tips 80. All of these videos are available for you to catch up to the hashtag CDC Whistleblower, how we got to 1 billion and now we're at about 1.3 billion. Yeah, you can just go to tinyurl.com, TAD Tips 1 through today is number 80, and it's just the numeral. Let's start with the biggest thing that people are waking up to, and the reason why Big Pharma poked the bear one too many times is that there are 93 mandates on the books that came into play from measles mania. It's all to get the big prize, which is adult mandates worldwide, which will be hundreds of billions of dollars, zero liberty, zero control over your body, and just line up to be told what to do. It's that crazy. But what you first need to understand is that the weak point in all of this is that they poked the big bear, which is there's only about 42% of America that will actually get the flu shot voluntarily, and within that 42%, we think about 30% is actually under duress because they work for hospitals, they work somewhere where they're mandating it. This right here is the adult vaccine schedule. It came out in 2015. It is at tinyurl.com/adultvaxschedule. This will scare the shit out of anybody. You can I don't know what just happened there. We'll go back here. This will scare anybody, and it should scare anybody because there's 72 vaccines that are on this schedule for adults between the ages of 19 and 65, and 99.99% of all Americans are under-vaccinated and in the States would be counted as an exemption and unvaccinated. Again, it's tinyurl.com/adultvaxschedule. This is people's Achilles heel. This is your doggy door. This is how you talk about vaccines with people. It's all about the money. This right here is the college mandate that is already going through, requiring 6 vaccines for entrance into UC schools by 2017. So pound the adult vax schedule that will be mandated if we don't beat down these 92 mandates across the United States for school-age children. Okay, now I quickly want to talk about who is Andy Wakefield. The reason this is important is because we successfully beat down the propaganda every time they tried to go to Andy Wakefield. But where we haven't beaten it down because we don't have access to it is these new parents are going into the doctor's offices, and these pediatricians have been given scripts, and the scripts include when a parent asks you about vaccine safety, you talk about this fraudulent, discredited doctor named Dr. Andrew Wakefield. And the reason why they want to talk about him is because if they talk about him, they will not talk about our kids and show our kids and demonstrate that hundreds of thousands of kids are vaccine injured per the parents' firsthand testimony. That's all available at tinyurl.com/htw videos. And instead, they want to talk about this one man. The beauty of this is that we did a video with him yesterday. It's available. I think I got the link right here, but I don't know. It's available right here at tinyurl.com/tadtips79 because it was our video for yesterday. He talks directly to new parents questioning vaccines. It is a beautiful video. It's already had 1,000 views and 1,252 views in less than 7 hours. You need to get that out to people. Again, tinyurl.com/tadtips79. And these are the memes to use on Twitter. Now let's talk about the fraud money. People have found that there's an organization called NACCHO, NACCHO, that is a nonprofit that is funded by the CDC that then bribes officials to get rid of exemptions for vaccines. Here's 2 articles about it. It's CDC money and Nacho fraud. And then it all ties back to Oregon/Oregon Vax fraud, where one of the big things we're finding is that the numbers that they're giving are fraudulent. It is not representative of the vaccine rates in those states. So it's just this is unraveling like a very poorly made sweater with the string you pull on, and 2 minutes later, all of the yarn is on the floor. Our elected officials are starting to understand this, and the only ones who are going to be standing by these bills in about a week are going to be the ones that signed on in the beginning. Everybody else is going to run for the hills and either do no comment or come out very, very pro against all of these bills. So that's everything that I have right now, pushing the adult mandates, because that really does demonstrate where all of this is headed, and it makes everybody own the problem. This isn't about school-age kids. If you're 60, this is about you. If you're 40, if you're 20, if you're unemployed, it'll come through insurance. This is everybody when it comes to the adult mandates. Tim, do you have anything quick to say before we finish?
I saw a report yesterday that said the United States was the only country in the entire world that mandated the Hep B vaccine. Is that true? Can you speak to that for a second?
I don't know if that's true, but my research, 6 months ago suggested that it was in fact true, that the United States is the only country that mandates the Hep B, but it's even worse than that. We mandate the Hep B on day 1. And I really want to understand, who in the world did we test Hep B in the first hours of life on? I mean, just let that sit for a second. Did we go over to Zimbabwe? Did we go to Bangladesh? Where did we decide that babies that were just born were less valuable than our babies so that we could test whether or not a vaccine for a sexually transmitted disease or through needles from IV drug use, dirty needles, it is safe and effective on babies that are less than 12 hours old? That is sick and twisted at such a level that you should have nightmares about that. Because if you really start to look into the evilness that is testing our vaccine schedule, who it's done on and how it's done, it's really, really sick. And the Hep B, I think the long-term goal with all of this is to mandate adult vaccines, no question about it. But for the kids, I think they realize the time is up on this whole vaccine fraud, and they're trying to make it so that they can mandate down to the only kids that aren't getting vaccines have a medical exemption, and there are 0 unvaccinated kids from which to determine what health would look like if they remained unvaccinated. So again, adult mandates. Oh, and the other thing we really, really need to get to is these in the state of California. The first event that's happening is on April 8th. The first committee that this thing is going to go to is the health committee. These are the people on the health committee. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When we're done with our campaign, there will be 8 that are for it, and there will be 8 that will be strongly against it. And the 4 that are for it will never, ever be elected to office again. And we can guarantee that with the work that we're going to continue to do on this, because this is insane the way they're trying to take our liberties. And again, when you have conversations with your elected officials, and you've got to go do that, you've got to get online, find out where they are, show up every Friday at 3 o'clock and just ask to sit down with them. If they are pro these bills, you do not try to educate. They need to be scared of the ramifications of the bill versus educated, because they're just not open to it. And then the rest you need to educate. Another thing we need to do in our groups is we need to have volunteers who have $30 who can buy an e-fax program. They buy an e-fax program, and then everybody else emails their list of things they want fax to their person, to that person, and that person volunteers to fax it in. It's super efficient to do it that way. The other thing that we need is a baton passing list in different areas. Find a list of 10 constituents for one person. The first person goes into Facebook and Twitter and starts to share the education. When they get blocked, which they will, they pass the baton on to the next person. And I know we're going into all kinds of logistics here, but lots and lots going on. Just go to your, we're still, this phone has not stopped ringing since this happened. We're continuing to call 818-460-7477 and request that both Jimmy Kimmel and Whoopi Goldberg be fired, or they apologize to vaccine-injured families. Tim, any last words for right now? Okay.
Yeah, just thank you. And again, what President Obama said at the Selma is "we" is the most important word, and that's seemed ironic to me that whoever did that meme for Jimmy Kimmel put "we" as the largest word on there. And so we, the people, we shall overcome, and we are going to make a difference at this point.
And we're going to share Andy's video, which is tinyurl.com/tadtips79. And this one will be tadtips80. See you on #CDC Whistleblower.